He didn't wake up one day as the richest man on earth. There was a moment when everything almost collapsed. When the world saw a genius, but inside, he was fighting silence, doubt, and a fear no one talks about. This is the part of Elon Musk's life that changed everything. Elon Musk is often described as a man from the future. The face behind electric cars, private rockets, and bold ideas that sound impossible until they suddenly exist. To the world, he represents innovation, wealth, and power on a scale few humans ever reach. But this story isn't about rockets or money. It's about what happens to a human mind when the pressure never stops. When expectations grow faster than sleep. When the world doesn't see the person, only the outcome. This story matters because Elon Musk's life reflects a modern reality many people quietly live in. The belief that success must come at the cost of peace. That changing the world means losing parts of yourself along the way. Millions admire him. Millions criticize him. But very few understand what it takes to carry responsibility for ideas that can fail publicly, painfully, and permanently. Elon's journey shows us that success isn't a straight line upward. It's fragile. It's lonely. And sometimes, it changes you in ways you never planned. This isn't a story about becoming powerful. It's about what power does to a person when the cameras turn off. From the outside, Elon Musk looks fearless, confident, almost untouchable. But behind that image is a man constantly at war with himself. Elon has spoken about sleeping on factory floors, missing family moments, and pushing his body far beyond healthy limits. Not because he wanted fame, but because failure felt unbearable. Every delay, every mistake, every public doubt became personal. The world saw ambition. What they didn't see was isolation. Leadership at that level is lonely. There's no one to blame. No one to lean on. Decisions affect thousands of lives, and silence follows every choice. At night, success doesn't quiet the mind. It amplifies it. Elon carried the weight of proving he wasn't just lucky. That he wasn't a fraud. That his ideas weren't dreams destined to die. While headlines celebrated him as a visionary, privately he questioned his own limits. How much could one person sacrifice before something breaks? The deeper conflict wasn't about money or recognition. It was about identity. Was he a builder? Or a prisoner of the future he was trying to create? There was a period in Elon Musk's life when everything he touched felt like it was on the edge of collapse. 2 companies, 2 impossible missions, and one body running on almost no rest. By day, he was expected to be a visionary leader. By night, he became a firefighter, putting out crises that never seemed to end. Factories missed targets. Rockets failed publicly. The internet watched every mistake with cold curiosity. Instead of stepping back, Elon leaned in harder. He slept where he worked. A couch. A conference room floor. Sometimes, nowhere at all. Meals became optional. Time lost meaning. The lifestyle looked heroic from afar. In reality, it was survival mode. Relationships quietly strained under the weight of absence. Messages went unanswered. Promises were postponed. The future always came first, at the cost of the present. Inside production lines and launch sites, tension filled the air. Employees waited for answers. Investors waited for results. The world waited to see if the myth would crack. Elon felt responsible for everything. Every delay felt like betrayal. Every failure felt personal. There were moments when even his closest circle wondered if he had gone too far. When ambition crossed into obsession. But walking away was never an option. Not when so many people had placed their hopes in his vision. Not when quitting would confirm every doubt spoken about him. So he kept going. pushing through exhaustion, ignoring warning signs, convincing himself that this was the price of changing the world. What no one saw was how fragile everything had become. One wrong move, one more failure, one moment of collapse. And the story of Elon Musk could have ended very differently. The cost didn't arrive all at once. It crept in quietly. Exhaustion turned into emotional numbness. Joy became distant. Even victories felt temporary, almost hollow. Elon's mental state hardened. He learned to suppress emotion because feeling too much slowed him down. Stress became normal. Anxiety became background noise. Relationships paid the highest price. Being present became difficult when his mind was always somewhere else, solving problems that never slept. Connection weakened. Distance grew. And moments that should have mattered slipped away unnoticed. Fame didn't bring comfort. It magnified pressure. Every word he spoke was dissected. Every decision judged. Mistakes became global conversations overnight. So he made tougher choices. More extreme ones. Less compromise. More control. Not because he wanted power, but because letting go felt dangerous. Success demanded constant defense. The emotional cost was heavy. Isolation, misunderstood intentions, and a growing sense that slowing down meant losing everything he'd built. Behind the headlines of innovation was a man quietly carrying the weight of consequences no balance sheet could measure. And the question became impossible to ignore. How much of himself could he give before there was nothing left to protect? Eventually, something shifted. Not overnight. Not with a dramatic announcement. But with quiet realizations that came during moments of stillness he rarely allowed himself. Elon began to understand that survival wasn't the same as living. That winning every battle could still mean losing pieces of himself. The experience reshaped him. He became more direct, less apologetic, more willing to accept being misunderstood. Not because he stopped caring, but because he realized he couldn't carry everyone's expectations anymore. He gained resilience forged through pressure few endure. A sharper clarity about what truly mattered to him. A deeper acceptance that his path would never look normal. But he also lost things. Time that could never be recovered. Moments with people who slowly drifted away. A version of himself that once believed success would feel lighter. The transformation wasn't about becoming softer or harder. It was about becoming honest. Honest about the cost. Honest about his limits. Honest about the fact that changing the world doesn't come without personal sacrifice. And in that realization, Elon Musk didn't step back from his mission. He simply learned what it would demand forever. When the noise fades, when the factories go quiet and the cameras turn away, what remains is not a billionaire or a visionary. It's a human being. Elon Musk's life change wasn't just about success or power. It was about understanding that the future he was building would always ask more from him than most people could ever give. Some dreams don't end. They follow you home. They sit beside you in silence. His story reminds us that greatness isn't loud in the moments that matter most. It's heavy. It's isolating. And it forces choices no one applauds. We celebrate results. We rarely question the cost. And maybe that's the real lesson hidden inside his journey. That ambition can lift you to the stars. But it can also pull you away from the ground beneath your feet. So the next time you hear his name, think beyond the headlines. Think about the weight behind the vision. And ask yourself a quieter question. What would you be willing to give up to change the world?